roll it up, we gon' burn it down.
Every NHL player to play in his 40s. Sports are primarily played by young people, with the majority of the finest professional athletes being in their 20s. Even the finest players tend to retire in their 30s. Nevertheless, some are able to continue playing a bit longer. In fact, hundreds of NHL players have been able to play at least one game despite blowing out 40 candles. Granted, that comes from hundreds of players that have played in the league, but it's still uncommon. Here are the NHL players who wore sweaters in their 40s. Number 1. David Ayres. Isn't it interesting that one of the most recognized players in NHL history is already 40 years old? Imagine that at the age of 42, David Ayres was thrown into a single National Hockey League game. Wow, what an interesting turn of events. Due to injuries to both of Carolina's goalies, the squad had to scurry to find an emergency goalie in Toronto. So, who should emerge except Ayres, the Toronto Marlies' Zamboni driver? In his NHL debut, he made 8 saves on 10 shots, helping the Hurricanes win. It's amazing how a seemingly ordinary person can suddenly become a cult icon in the hockey community. Number 2. Roberto Luongo. Despite the fact that all skaters are considered, we are going to make a distinction between the goalies and the skaters. Although he was never awarded the Vezina, Luongo is widely considered to be among the top goalies of his generation. He did, however, participate in 5 All-Star games. The long and successful career of Luongo came to an end in Florida, where he played 1 game after reaching the age of 40 before retiring. Number 3. Nikolai Khabibulin. The Bulin Wall began his career shortly after the demise of the Soviet Union. He made his NHL debut with the original Jets in 1994. Khabibulin went on to play in the NHL for 20 years. He got little involvement in his final 2 seasons, appearing in 12 games as a 40-year-old and 4 as a 41-year-old with the Blackhawks. Number 4. Ryan Miller. The fact that he won a Vezina in the National Hockey League after winning a Hobey Baker Award in college is very amazing, isn't it? During his final season in 2021-22, he only played 18 games. Furthermore, what is even more remarkable is the fact that this goalie, who was born in the United States, was able to continue his career far into his 40s. In his final season in the National Hockey League, he played for the Anaheim Ducks 16 times. It appeared as though Miller was simply clinging on at that time, given that his save percentage was .882, which was the lowest it had ever been in his whole career. Number 5. Tony Esposito. It is quite remarkable that Esposito spent most of his great career with the Chicago Blackhawks. Imagine that you are the brother of Phil Esposito, the most famous Bruin in the world. The fact that Tony won the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year in the same season that he won his first Vezina is even more astounding than the fact that he won 3 Vezinas throughout the course of his career. Age eventually caught up with him, despite the fact that he had been an Iron Man for the bulk of his competitive career. During his final season, he only played 18 games. Number 6. Craig Anderson. In spite of the fact that it came as a bit of a surprise, Anderson is still active, which means that he can add to his total. However, Washington called on the goalie to make 4 starts during the 2020-21 season, despite the fact that he had been essentially out of the National Hockey League. However, he was 39 years old throughout this season. This was sufficient for Buffalo to give him a chance to compete. During his age 40 season, he made 31 starts, and from that point on, he continued to play until the following season, when he made 24 starts before ultimately retiring. Number 7. Dominik Hasek. It's fascinating to think about Hasek single-handedly powering the Sabres to success for such a long time. Known affectionately as the Dominator, he not only won 6 Vezinas throughout his extraordinary career, but he also won the Hart Trophy as MVP twice while in Buffalo. But what's as fascinating is how he defied age and demonstrated his genius long into his 40s. After leaving Buffalo, he spent a season in Ottawa before joining the Red Wings for 2 legendary seasons. However, even as he approached the end of his career, Hasek's competitive spirit remained strong. In his final season, he graciously accepted a reduced role in the playoffs, handing over the starting position to Chris Osgood. However, the Wings triumphed and hoisted the coveted Stanley Cup, making for a spectacular finish. What a fitting end to a remarkable career characterized by outstanding skill and relentless devotion. Number 8. Dwayne Roloson. When it comes to the total amount of games that a goaltender in his 40s has participated in, Roloson is at the top of the list. Due to the fact that he did not start his career in the National Hockey League until he was 27 years old, it is probable that he was merely attempting to make up for the time that he had missed. The journeyman had a number of good years throughout his career, including one appearance in the All-Star Game and 2 incredible runs in the playoffs. During his career, he also attended the All-Star Game. This includes a season in Tampa where he played at the age of 41 and made 17 starts in the playoffs. This season is among those included in this. These games do not count toward his total of 142, yet he is still in first position on the list despite the fact that they are not included. Number 9. Guy Carbonneau. It's intriguing to look into Carbonneau's path to the Hall of Fame, which is a testimonial to his exceptional defensive abilities. He was born in Canada and left an indelible mark by winning 3 Selke trophies for Best Defensive Forward. Furthermore, he continuously ranked in the top 3 for this award on 3 separate occasions, demonstrating his enduring defensive brilliance year after year. One noteworthy part of Carbonneau's career is that his birthday fell during the season, allowing him to play a remarkable 7 games at the age of 40. It demonstrates his enduring passion for the game and unshakable dedication to his squad. Carbonneau's passion remained unwavering in his final season on the ice, where he appeared in 69 games, capping off a remarkable career marked by defensive excellence and an unquenchable curiosity for the game's complexities. Number 10. Kimmo Timonen. Timonen's passion for the elusive Stanley Cup was like a never-ending flame. He was determined and uncompromising in his pursuit of hockey's ultimate prize. Even as the years passed, he refused to let go of his ambition. Timonen's ice time in his final season with the Blackhawks was restricted, with only 16 regular season appearances. Surprisingly, 10 of those games occurred after he had turned 40. It demonstrated his enduring passion and commitment to the game. Nonetheless, despite the difficulties and voices of doubt, fate interfered in the most magnificent manner. Against all odds, Chicago triumphed, hoisting the coveted Stanley Cup high above their heads. For Timonen, it represented the culmination of years of sacrifice and perseverance. The Finnish defenseman's decision to stay another year paid off handsomely, imprinting his name forever in hockey history. Which one is your favorite player? Please comment below. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates.